Yeah, and that's a whole nother subject.
Hmm.
That's a whole nother subject because there's things I feel like they can be teaching the kids in school early on, um, to be proactive,
Hmm.
and they're not.
Nah.
And suicide these days, it's almost like it's a regular thing,
Hmm.
and it's because I think kids don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah, because I think I know for me, I just feel like I exhausted every option. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's kind of like you just want something to stop. So it's like game over type.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand some people I know when they like, oh, well, so-and-so said it 10 times. You don't know what they're going through to get themselves back to like zero. You know what I'm saying? So it may appear that this person just crying out for help, whatever, but it could be that this is how they feel, but then they work their way back to, you know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing like being in a situation that you can't control.
That you can control.
Yeah, like as an adult, like we can leave the house, leave, if you want to go get a
Mm-hmm.
hotel room, put in your credit card or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
just doing something instantly. But for a child, if they're in it,
Mm-hmm.
usually you don't have a voice in your house that strong where you can just say, look, I'm out, or we need to stop, talk about this. So for kids, especially the ones I see nowadays with the pressure, just the pressure from social media alone,
Yeah.
that's jacking them up. Just the lack of parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are more your best
Mm-hmm.
friends, so they're
Mm-hmm.
letting you do any and everything.
Well, they can't parent because they're in toxic environments themselves.
Yeah. But a lot
As a
of them,
parent.
yeah, but a lot of them are our age that have kids, because raising the kid now, like I'm 39, I got kids in college, you know. For most people, that's young. So at
Mm-hmm.
some point, I had to sacrifice things I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
going out on the weekend or whatever. So they didn't see that. But for some people growing up, they've seen their parents club every weekend or whatever. You grandparents. So once again, this is toxic, normal behavior
Mm-hmm.
not to see your parent
Mm-hmm.
or to see him in short skirts twerking on the gram, and you know what I'm saying. So,
Mm-hmm.
or mom, where you going Friday? I'm turning up. So what they gonna do? You gonna tell them they can't go to the high school party? They just seen you. So once again, it's like these cliches. Do as I say. No, they gonna do they gonna do as you do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times, like people are born into sin, right? You hear that people are born into sin. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
teach somebody how to do wrong. It's in us.
Mm.
We got to teach you how to do right,
Yeah.
morals and all that
Yeah.
standards, moral compass. But I think when it comes down to the way I learn, right? Sometimes I can learn more about watching you than listening to you.
That's right.
So if you're gonna teach me how to work this board, like I'm gonna listen to you, but at some point I gotta watch your fingers. And I think a lot of times what we're seeing is a generation being spawned. Now that kid is having a kid, and they're no different than the mother or the grandmother,
Yeah.
because they've been seeing the same cycle, and I think it's sad too because I think in our culture there's a lot of stereotypes that we buy into. You see what I'm saying? To the point where I remember stepping in the role as a father, doing what a father did. Like it's like you get the
Mm-hmm.
now, God, this was what's supposed to be
What you're
done.
supposed to do.
But it's so sad that it's not being done on a regular, that people celebrate what you're supposed to
What you're
do.
supposed to do when you do it.
Yeah, and to me, that's toxic as well. You're seeing that in like TV ads, culturally. You see the black mom by herself on like pictures and advertising. You don't see the whole family
Mm.
because I think we've accepted it, and it's like it's a lot of stuff going on that affects our community, affects our culture. And true indeed, we got to make the choice, I think, for ourselves.
Yeah.
But once you see that the people just adopt what they know. Like I didn't know, I didn't have, like, my dad wasn't around until I went to kindergarten and just having a conversation like, hold on, my grandpa, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And I was
Uh-huh.
confused. But if this is all you see, you're like, and it really messed me up because I'm like, what you mean, dad? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, I think, where the toxic behavior, trying to, what do you call that? Trying to protect somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be careful how you do that too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want your kids involved in life, but if you don't explain to them, hey, this is what's going on.
That's
Your
what's
dad's
going
not
on.
here,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
Not saying that my mother didn't do that, but it was just the way things happen for kids.
Mm-hmm.
As these generations come up, they're learning quicker.
Yeah.
So we can't wait 10 years to
Yeah.
explain,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because their friends get to talk about stuff. I think about that with Kingston. He's 7 years old, and I'm like, Lord, some of the stuff he come home and say, and I'm like, is this the time for me to talk about that now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's certain things I don't want to discuss with him at 7 years old.
Yeah.
it's a lot of toxic behavior that's going on, and I do not want to discuss it with a 7-year-old child.
It is.
But like you said, trying to protect him can also hurt him if I don't tell him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, because we have been through that, like with our son and daughter sometimes, to where, like, we really don't want them exposed to know even people are like this, but we can see what's happening around them. Like, you know, they come home, they had a dealing with a toxic friend. You know how it is. They sad. You find out, okay, so this friend, this person that you thought was your best friend, did you like this? Okay, so now we got to talk. It's how people are. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, but in adults, we even find out about stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I think for our kids, it's a fine line. You do want to keep certain things away, but then with them having a cell phone,